Hi, my name is Corey Thomas. I'm the Director of New Business Development and Technical Services at Spraylock. We're going to take a few minutes just to run through a quick video to show some best practices and answer some questions and a little troubleshooting in regards to the application of our FRP and more adhesive. So first and foremost, normally there is usually a little protective black tab on the top of the cap. You would just pop that off. And then obviously it's an aerosol adhesive, so you want to shake it up. You're going to hear a liquid sound inside. You'll feel the movement. If you don't hear that liquid sound, and if you don't feel the polymers moving inside the can, it could have been exposed to freezing temperatures. So this product can handle cold temperatures, but it is not freeze-thaw stable, so it will freeze at some point. When that happens, it solidifies and it will never go back to a liquid state. Next, once the adhesive is shaken, you want to make sure you've got good protection on the floor. So typically most people just use construction paper, or they'll use a big piece of cardboard, or if you're installing FRP, they'll put down an old sheet of a damaged sheet of FRP, anything like that, just to protect any finished flooring. So when you're getting ready to start spraying, proper spray pattern is best achieved if you keep moving. When you're starting by spraying, I'm going in a circular motion right now because there's no start and stop point, but you can go side to side. You can go up and down. The cool thing with these tips is you can depress the tip stronger for full pressure, or you can back off on that a little bit and feather. So you can get closer by not, see, I'm putting more pressure there, or I'm backing off a little bit, and I'm able to kind of get a slower spray pattern to achieve a really good consistent look. So all we want is a good consistent spray pattern. I'm just going back in to fill in areas that are a little light. And that's a great pattern right there. One can will do the equivalent of 2 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of FRP or whatever wall protection product or material you're using. You can see how white this is when it first sprays out. It's very a bright white. This was sprayed yesterday, and you'll see it's much more off-white. There's a big difference in the color. It darkens, it becomes a little more opaque. So there is a visual aid to that being aware of when the adhesive is ready to install into. And that brings up the next important point is, when is it time when is that adhesive ready for you to install into? So we like to use a very tactile approach. When you lightly touch your fingers into the adhesive, once it's achieved tack, it'll be very sticky, but there'll be no transfer to your fingers. If I go into it too early and I lightly touch the adhesive, you'll see my fingers have adhesive all over the tips there. So what we want you to do is think a little bit differently compared to bucket adhesives. With bucket adhesives, when you open that bucket, A, it has to be used on that project. B, you only have about 45 minutes to work. So a lot of times installers are working 1 or 2 sheets at a time. Well, with the Spraylock FRP and more adhesive, what we want you to do is think bigger. How many sheets do you think that you can set into adhesive in a day? Is it 20, 30, 40, 50 sheets? You're going to do 50 sheets. So what we want you to do is get the crew together, spray out that entire area in the morning, first thing. By the time you're done spraying, when you come back to where you first started spraying, that adhesive will be tacked up and ready to install into. And then you start working. It's going to have a very aggressive bond. You work for a couple hours, you go to lunch, don't worry about the adhesive. It's not going to get away from you. You come back, you keep going. You'll have that 8-hour working time. Frankly, if you don't have enough material on site and you sprayed enough area for 5 more sheets, and you don't have that wall material to install, so you have to come back the next day, You do not need to tear down that drywall and reinstall new drywall and respray adhesive. Leave that adhesive up there. Do a quick light overspray of the existing adhesive that was left overnight, and then continue installing. We put this on Thursday of last week just to give you an idea. And the bond is exceptional. Again, that's our job, is to create an adhesive that creates 100% substrate failure. That's a primed wall, and it still tore off all the paper and everything. This adhesive here that's tacked up was sprayed Friday. Today is Monday. So it still has tons of tack. And I can still reposition it. Oh, I'm offline. I can still pull it off and reposition it. And then it's great. Again, when we're talking about the comparison of buckets versus our spray, when you open up a bucket, again, it's committed to that project. If you haven't opened up the bucket yet, most of those products have a 1-year shelf life. The spray that we have, our FRP adhesive, it has a 3-year shelf life. And that's even if you've used the can. So if you're done spraying, you've got half a can left, just let the adhesive build up a little bit on the tip. That will seal off that opening. It will prevent the adhesive from drying out, and so you can put that back in the box and take it on to the next project. So here earlier we talked about putting the spray shield down, putting the construction paper down. We don't want you to roll out a 100-foot sheet of construction paper. Just continue to move that construction paper onto the next sheet. You can roll out a 10-foot section or whatever and just move it along with you as you go, so you're not wasting a lot of material as well. We want you to be about 18 to 22 inches or so away from the wall. You saw how it was spraying. Where it was falling was right next to the wall. It was right next to it was probably 1 foot off. So I am not wearing construction clothes. My shoes have no adhesive on them. These adhesives bond to just about anything. So the adhesive will bond to the paper on the drywall. It will bond to any primed surface. It will bond to existing ceramic. It will bond to glass. It will bond to steel. It will bond to existing FRP. The only thing we want primed is if you have the gypsum drywall compound, because that can dust on impact, and we want to make sure that the wall is good and solid.
May now wait up to 1 hour and roll the entirety of the sheet with a laminate roller to fully complete the bond.
Quick recap. Make sure your can is viable. Make sure the adhesive's good inside the can. If it's not, set it down. Make sure it's shaken. Make sure you've got a good spray pattern. Make sure it's tacked up and ready to go. And then again, you have that 8 hours working time. Make sure you're moving the paper along with you so your finished surfaces are protected, and you will have a very successful installation with SprayLock FRP.